We have some high-tech flint and steel fire-making technology we need to show you, and a new no char tinder we've added to our growing list that came through for us when it counted in the wild. Let's get to it. What do we mean by no char tinder? Well, simply put, these are natural materials that can be processed and ignited on the spot in the wild using flint and steel without being charred first. If you're new to the channel, make sure and check out our years of research and experimenting on this subject, specifically this video, which covers all of our research and findings in great detail and even ranks each tinder accordingly. Now on to this new toy of ours. This is a hollow elkhorn that we're using to stuff no char tinder inside of, but it's much more than just a nice looking tinder carrier. We use this fire apparatus of ours as a spark catcher to make flint and steel fire making much more convenient on the fly. But there's something even more exciting about this fire tool. Not only does it hold our tinder and catch our sparks, it also produces charred tinder that can be saved and used in subsequent fire making. Look how clean, convenient, and easy it is to char the top layer of tinder and then feed new uncharred tinder in from the bottom, which will then wait its turn for future fires. And for the record, of course we are pro-char. The reason you don't typically see us charring our tinder much is that we're carrying around plants that almost always will catch a spark in 20 strikes or less, very often in 10 or less, and quite frequently in just 1 to 3 strikes without charring.
I didn't believe you.
Oh, look at this. Got 2 of them.
That was one hit.
Yeah.
But not all of the plants on our no char plant list are that dynamic. In fact, some of them can be a real pain to get going, which is why a tool like this is so impactful, as you only need to ignite these stubborn tinders once before eventually having them in charred form, which makes a massive difference. Okay, we want to really put our flint and steel tinder carrier to use. Not just in the comfort of our backyard, no, we want to get way out into some high elevation wild country and see what it's like to use this tool out where it counts. We're heading to the rugged and beautiful Olallie Wilderness, where we're going to attempt to climb a famous butte which is called Olallie Butte. We decided it would be a fun challenge to try and find some no char plant tinder on our way up, light it uncharred, and then ignite it again at the top of the butte using some of the charred tinder from our carrier. That all sounds good, but first we need to actually find plants that can catch a spark without being charred first, and up in higher elevations, this could be a bit of a challenge. Now, as we hike along, we've already ruled out most of the 20 plants that were on our no char success list because we're heading up to just over 7,200 feet elevation, and many of those plants just don't grow up here. But we do know from previous experience that some of them do grow at high elevations, so we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled and hope the plants we eventually find are ones that got a good score in our testing and research. Hours now into our venture, and potential no char plant tinders were nowhere to be found. But when we came across this plant, our hopes were revived, and we even felt a sense of confidence that our quest will not have been in vain, because this plant has come through for us so many times in the past. Its dead leaves and blossoms can both be used for flint and steel fire making, and it received a pretty decent score of 5.5 for the blossoms and a 6 for the leaves respectively in our experiments. But in the back of our minds, a confidence shaking but true fact whispered, "You have never tried to use this plant this late in the season." And one of the most important things regarding no char flint and steel fire making is that the condition of the plant at the time you harvest it really matters. And sometimes that window of opportunity can close pretty fast as the seasons transition. And in the case of this pearly everlasting, it appears that that window had closed. We spent a significant amount of time trying to get this pearly to take, but our previous experience with this plant has taught us that we should have had success by now, so unfortunately we'll have to move on and hope to find a different plant. Resilience, confidence, hope, and positive thinking have all been crucial companions of ours through the years, so we've learned to be open-minded and optimistic right till the end, but coming across this plant really put all of that to the test. Fireweed. Hearing the name might give you a false hope that this plant would be a great source of tinder for a no char flint and steel fire, but it didn't get that name for being so flammable. It got it for its prolificacy and growing through areas that have been burned by wildfires. And we've already tried fireweed for No Char Flint and Steel, and it's been sitting on that no list for years now. But on the other hand, it has come so close so many times, and wouldn't it be amazing if we could actually get it to work for the first time right here in a pressure situation like this? So basically, all of our hopes for testing our Flint and Steel tinder carrier now rest in a plant that we have never had success with. Not yet, anyway. We'll start out by putting some fireweed right on top of our flint. We use several different methods for Flint and Steel striking and made a whole video about it. We use different methods for different plants, and in this case, we put it on top because fireweed holds together pretty well, and we think it'll need a quick, direct spark rather than having the sparks fall through the air before landing on it. In the early days, we had great hopes for this plant, but now as we attempt to make a spark hold inside its fine, fluffy fibers over and over just to see it temporarily hold and go out again, we are reminded why it went on the no list to begin with.
Oh, it went out again.
Well, lack of persistence is one thing that no one has ever accused us of, and in this case, it paid off.
I got something going. I think I got it. Whoa, careful, I'm burning myself. That was a little difficult.
Wow, what a great feeling. Now let's save some charred fireweed, tuck it in our carrier, finish the jaunt to the top, and try to light the charred pieces at the summit.
Almost to the top. I know we keep saying that. Wow. And let's see visual here. Officially at the top. The top of Olallie Butte. 7,219 feet.
Predictably, having the fireweed charred made a huge difference, and we can go home now having had two major successes. One, our tinder carrier is perfect. It's light, convenient, and served its purpose well. Two, we can officially add another tinder to the yes side of the aisle, which makes 21 successful no-char tinders in our area. It's also good to know that even at higher elevations and well out of the growing season, we could still find a successful tinder that will light uncharred. But wait, there's still the matter of getting back to camp before sundown, and accomplishing that will be no small task. Better get moving. Wait, better rehydrate first.
In the campsite. Ooh. Well, that's the lake, and it's right there. Whew. Quite a hike. Well, there's where we were. Right up there on top.